Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to our audience joining us today from both Facebook and LinkedIn Live. It's a pleasure to have you here for our Leading in Purpose series, focusing on the concept of mindful leadership, navigating change with purpose. I am Clarice Valenzuela, the consultant of Human Dynamic Philippines. For today's discussion holds particular importance as we delve into the significance of mindfulness leadership, especially in navigating change effectively. Join us as we delve and uncover the seamless integration of mindfulness practices into strategies for managing change, fostering resilience, empathy, clarity among leaders and team members. But before we delve into the discussion, I would like to invite our viewers to participate by typing your name and organization to our comment box. You can also share your insights, reflections, or if you have additional information about our discussion, you can share it with us through the comment box. We'd love to hear your insights. So let's enjoy and learn from one another. Our speaker this afternoon is an industrial practitioner with over 8 years of expertise in human resource administration, consultancy, and process improvement. Her professional focus center on the industrial and mental health sectors within Asia Pacific and Australia and New Zealand regions. Currently holding the position as a senior positive behavior support practitioner at ORC Group Australia and Associate Professor 4 at National University, Laguna. Her primary area of specialization lies in leadership and administration, where she has excelled in team leadership and achieved significant team oriented milestones. Notably, she prioritized projects aimed at promoting employee well being. In addition, her expertise in leadership and administration, she possesses valuable experience in labor relations training and development, sourcing, and company marketing. As the co founder and training and delivery implementation executive at Brainspotting Philippines, she actively collaborates with universities, communities, business leaders, and stakeholders to advocate for creating a safe space and promoting mental health awareness. So let's welcome and give a virtual round of applause to our brilliant speaker, Miss Vanessa Haro. Hi, Miss Vanessa.
Hi, Clarice.
Hi, Miss
It's an
Vanessa.
honor to catch up with you. Yeah.
Good to see you,
Hi.
Vanessa. Thank you for joining us today. And I
Yeah,
am
I'm.
and I'm very excited to throw a question and learn from you.
Yeah, me too. Let's learn from each other.
Yeah. So let's start. For my first question, how does mindfulness leadership contribute to creating a culture of clarity and focus within teams and organizations?
Yeah. Thanks for asking that, Clarice. That's a fantastic question. So I think it's better if we can explore into the concept of mindfulness leadership first. While it might seem straightforward, it's always valuable for me to define our terms, especially considering our audience professional background. And personally, I myself is very obsessed in researching terms. So yeah, mindful leadership essentially revolves around consciously cultivating traits, like being present, open minded, compassionate in our interactions, both with our team members and ourselves. So the key terms here are being present, right? Open minded and compassionate. But what strikes me the most is showing the same care and consideration to ourselves. This is something we mostly forget as leaders on how we take care of ourselves. Maybe some of us are very excellent in supporting people, very excellent leaders who will go extra mile to really understand and ensure that we provide them what we crucially need. But we always forget how we could give the same amount of compassion, trust, and care to ourselves. And that usually happens. So that's why we have to be more mindful of how we can support ourselves. So in that way, we can support others as well. Especially in today's world where discussions about mental health have rightfully taken center stage, right? Particularly in corporate environments. The pandemic thrust into us in a new way of working, often confine us from our homes. Like me myself, I'm working from home since pandemic, and this became a trend. And this situation demanded a higher level of trust and compassion from managers compared to face-to-face setup, not just toward our teams but also toward ourselves. So striking the balance was incredibly challenging amidst all the uncertainty, especially in the Philippines, where you know what I mean. It's pretty challenging to survive here in terms of opportunities, on how we can make enough resources to support ourselves and our families, because in our culture we're very family oriented. So we have this endless quest of finding ways how to support our families, while we are wishing to be living our lives to the fullest. With this, we may have the tendency to be really in a survival mode, which leads to becoming a not so mindful leader. So essentially, where it's not us who would blame ourselves for not being so mindful leaders, because that's the situation, right? But it's vital for us leaders to proactively navigate this landscape of mindfulness and compassion, not just for our teams, no, but also for our own well-being. So let's talk about how mindfulness leadership contributes to creating or contributing a culture of clarity and focus within teams and organization. So first is it enhanced communication. So just imagine having a manager who's always on edge. Maybe we all have that for once in our lives, right? Unless you're very lucky, right? And it's like walking on an eggshells from 8 to 5. But with mindful leadership, it's a whole different ball game. Leaders who practice mindfulness, active listen, and empathize, fostering an environment where everyone feels heard and valued. This paves way for transparency and clear communication, and it minimizes misunderstandings and conflicts. When our leader is mindful, it's easy for us to open our challenges. I have experience having a very hot-tempered manager before, and I know for sure how hard for me to communicate myself, because you'll never know when they will have their bursting episodes. So personally, it's really essential to become a mindful leader because I know the impact it may have on the team. Second is improve decision making. Mindful leaders don't let emotions cloud their judgment. It's natural for us to be triggered or become dysregulated at times because we are humans. And being triggered, angry, emotional, and dysregulated are all valid emotions and normal emotions. So we don't have to try to stop them or hate those emotions. What's harmful is if we don't know how to self regulate or how to return to our normal and relaxed state. How to not say things that we regret later, because all of us don't want to be shouted at, right? And mindful leaders are very gentle in communication and level-headed in decision making. We want to make sure that we also value the well-being of our team members, because effective and mindful leadership based on impact and contribution, and money is just a side effect. And we make decisions grounded in the present moment, considering various perspectives and potential outcomes. So, this level headed approach leads to a more thoughtful and strategic decisions, providing a clear direction for the team and organization as a whole. And lastly, of course, we all know how stress can take its toll, especially in a high pressure work environments. But with mindfulness, practices, teams learn how to manage stress more effectively. At our at, at our organization in Brain Spotting, we've integrated mindfulness practices into our routine, and that's to promote the well-being and strengthen our team cohesion. So before getting into our daily agenda during our brain spotting sessions, we kick things off with a moment of meditation. So this sets a whole wide of tone of presence and focus for the day ahead. In each session, one team member takes the lead in guiding us through mindfulness exercises and fostering a sense of shared responsibility and participation. We also hold bi-monthly check-in huddles, which have proven immensely effective in nurturing supportive culture. So these meetings aren't about ticking off tasks or deadlines, because we always do that, right? But this bi-weekly check-ins, they're dedicated solely to checking in on each other's emotional well-being, right? We celebrate wins, small or big, and share personal reflections, creating space for genuine connection and understanding. So really, in essence, mindfulness leadership isn't just about being present. It's about creating workplace where clarity, focus, and compassion thrive. When embodying these principles, leaders are not only enhance teamwork or performance, but also cultivate culture where team members feel supported, empowered, and inspired to do their best work.
Wow, thank you for that, Miss Vanessa. And just like you, I completely agree that mindful leadership really contribute no in a culture of clarity and focus with teams and organization. Just like to add no to your sharing, recently I attended online training with human dynamic via HD Access. My HD Space. So this My HD Space is an online platform that we provided to our partner organization. So a brief background with My HD Space. So our partner our partner organization can access different modules,
Mm,
e-learnings, trainings with HD certificates related to the topic like mindfulness, leadership, family, lifestyle, and coping with crisis. So going back to the training that I attended, so it's entitled Leading with Mindfulness and Compassion. So you've mentioned that in order for us to be a mindful leader, we have to be compassion, not just to
yeah.
our team members, but also to ourselves. And according to the speaker in the training that I attended, she mentioned that the perfect recipe for being a mindful leader, just like what you've said, first focus. Because if you are focused, you are aware of what is happening inside of you, your thoughts, your emotions, and even your actions. You are also aware of what is happening in your surroundings, in your team members. You can be compassionate and more willing to listen and understand their perspective. And with that, it can develop of clarity or ability to clear mind or make a decision, a conscious decision or mutual decision with a organization. So, given that we've mentioned or we talk about mindfulness practices no, in the organization, can you explain to us, ma'am, how can mindfulness practices help leaders to develop greater self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and leading more effective leadership?
Sure. Well, I believe that leadership is driven by heart and body. Making decisions that feel good holistically rather than decisions that seem just good on paper. And for me, leadership involves our commitment to our inner somatic work on a daily basis. So, mindful practices can greatly benefit leaders in developing self awareness and emotional intelligence, which are very crucial components of effective leadership, right? If leaders don't possess self awareness, the culture inside the workplace can become, somehow shaky and triggered, and they tend to become very nitpicky towards their team members. I have experienced being nitpicked before, and that's not an empowering feeling, right? So, mindfulness leadership encourages individuals to become more aware of their own thoughts, of their own emotions, of their bodily sensations without judgment. So through practices such as meditation, mindful breathing, and right now I am proactively venturing the free diving because I think it's helpful for me because it requires a lot of relaxation before you duck dive into the water, and I became more mindful. Leaders can observe their thoughts and feelings as they arise and gain insight into their inner workings. Okay, so the heightened self-awareness helps leaders recognize their strengths, their weaknesses, their values, what their triggers are, enabling them, to make more informed decisions and respond rather than react in challenging situations. So personally, I still feel triggered. I pause for a moment, sometimes for days. I intentionally process those triggers instead of just reacting to them, because to tell you, more often than not, those triggers are all about us and not because of that single employee or the other person. So when I was just starting out as a manager or a leader, I vividly recall a situation where I found myself unexpectedly challenged by a team member who exuded, a similar aura as my own, strong yet, gentle and assertive in her demeanor. And she knows what she wants, that kind of thing, and knows how to directly communicate. Despite our shared qualities, her presence seemed to trigger me, something within me, and sensing the importance of addressing this reaction, I took a moment to pause and engage in practice I've come to rely on, which is mindfulness. So, drawing from my training in brain spotting, I centered myself to begin to observe my thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without judgment. And this process of self reflection allowed me to delve deeper into the root of my discomfort. So it dawned to me that my reaction stemmed from unresolved shadows of my past. Reflecting on my previous experiences or on my childhood, I recalled being labeled as resistant, for embracing traits like strength and assertiveness, right? Those memories had lingered and casting a shadow over my ability to fully embrace and accept those same qualities in others. So seeing my team member confidently, embodying these traits stirred a sense of envy within me. Envy rooted in my journey of self-acceptance and expression. So through mindfulness, I gained a clarity and insight into the source of my reaction and enabling me to address it with compassion and understanding. Acknowledging and reconciling those shadows, which we definitely all have, right? We all have triggers, right? And we can be able to cultivate a greater sense of empathy and appreciation for both ourselves and our team members. So this experience served as a poignant reminder of a transformative power of mindfulness in navigating interpersonal dynamics and fostering a personal growth within a professional setting.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is a leader who's trying with the practice of mindfulness leadership, the individual or even the leaders can connect with themselves, connect with their thoughts, emotions, and even their responses and even their decision because they are more aware what's happening to them, what's happening to their environment, what's happening to their teams and organization, and they are more willing to accept or acknowledge the challenges that they are experiencing. And through that acknowledgement, they are equipping themselves, no, to act to this challenging situation. So the aggressions or the miss or wrong decision, you are stopping yourself from creating this wrong decision because you were able to stop or you pause for a while, think for a while, reflect for a while, and strategize a perfect or effective strategies to solve that current challenges or problem that your company is experiencing. So, which leads me to my next question. In what ways do mindfulness and leadership foster better collaboration and communication among team members?
Yeah, sure. Well, mindful leadership can significantly enhance collaboration and communication among team members, by fostering culture of openness, empathy and trust. And there are actually many ways how to do this. But personally, here are some ways that I feel like mindfulness practices contribute to better communication and collaboration. So first is presence and active listening. So to become a leader, one has to be an active listener. And it seems very easy and obvious, right? Of course, we have to listen. But listening is a skill. It's a skill that when our team member is opening up their concerns, we don't interrupt. It's a skill that we don't react and become defensive. It's a skill that we don't take it personally, right? It's a skill that we don't go straight away to solutions, right? And it's a skill to become an active listener because that means 100% of ourselves is present and not judging. So mindfulness encourages leaders and team members to be fully present, no, in interactions. By practicing active listening without judgment or distraction, we become more attuned to each other's perspectives and concerns. So this fosters deep understanding and empathy, laying the foundation for more meaningful communication and collaboration. And next would be emotional regulation. Okay, so of course it's obvious we have to self-regulate, right? But mindfulness equips individuals with the tools to regulate their emotions effectively. Now, when team members are able to manage their emotions, they're less likely to react impulsively or defensively during discussions or disagreements. Okay, so instead they come forward and they can express themselves calmly and constructively, leading to a more productive conversations. Okay, and lastly is cultivation of trust. Okay, so as leaders, we have to trust our team members 100% and make sure we support them. The more nitpicky we are, most of the time, they are more becoming resistant. So I'm not saying that we should not call out, team members that um, doing things inappropriately because of course they want feedback. What I'm saying is, of course, leadership involves boundaries and speaking our truth even it's uncomfortable. So mindful leadership builds trust within teams by fostering, of course, authenticity, by fostering transparency and integrity. And when leaders demonstrate mindfulness in their actions and their decisions, they create a culture of trust and psychological safety where team members feel comfortable expressing themselves and honestly, taking risks. And this trust strengthens collaboration as team members are more willing to share ideas, ask for help, and work towards common goals.
Yeah, I think what stood up to me through your response is that through mindful leadership, we can create this supportive and calm environment in the organization amidst of the challenges or the situation that is happening in the organization. Through this mindful leadership, the leader or the team member was able to open in each and everyone's differences in terms of perspective. They are more willing to listen to each and everyone, and they are more willing to trust each and everyone that they have their opinions are valid, their concerns are valid, and their opinions or the strategies they want to implement in their organizations are valid. So, which leads me now to my next question. How can mindfulness techniques be integrated into the leadership development programs to cultivate mindful leaders and at all levels of organizations?
Yeah, of course. That's the next question, right? How we can apply it in the organization because it's not a usual thing to do and it feels like it's difficult. But seriously, it's not that hard because integrating mindfulness techniques into leadership development programs is such a gift that you can give to your team members or to your leaders. It's a strategic approach to cultivating mindful leaders across all levels in the organization. So, in the context of corporate setting, I think here's how to achieve this. Okay, so first is assessment and alignment. If you're working in corporate or even non-corporate setting, we can start by assessing the current state of leadership programs that the organization have inside the organization, and identifying opportunities that integrate mindfulness practices. So it's best, of course, that we ensure alignment with the organization's values and goals and leadership competencies. So next is educational resources. So one good thing to practice is that we can provide educational resources on mindfulness, including books. That's like what you said earlier, Clarice, that you have in your organization you have your own tools, you have your own access, right, to online courses, right? So it's really helpful, that it can teach mindfulness techniques and their application in leadership context. So I know it might get pricey to some organizations, but you can customize it on your own for your team. So next would be coaching and mentoring. So providing individual coaching or mentoring to support leaders in integrating mindfulness into their leadership styles. So of course, not all organizations can make that happen. So you can just have your upper managers or leaders to coach, the associate managers, because I believe that it doesn't mean that the leaders lead, they don't need support themselves, right? So we can pair leaders with mindfulness coaches and mentors who can offer personalized guidance, feedback, and accountability. And of course, consider enrolling in brain spotting courses. So if you're looking to tackle those triggers and dilemmas that crop up your work, joining a brain spotting course or any other course that related to mental health or well-being approaches, it could be a ticket. We all have our triggers, as I was always saying. And if you're aiming to elevate your self-awareness and mindfulness in leadership, diving into the world of brain spotting could be a game changer. So brain spotting training isn't just about acquiring a new skill set. It's about cultivating deeper sense of compassion, kindness, and mindfulness within yourself, both personally and professionally. It's like giving yourself a gift, a toolkit to navigate within yourself and complexities of leadership with grace and understanding. So yeah, why not explore, the possibility of joining those kind of courses, right, or training? Because who knows, it could be the key to unlocking the fullest potential as a leader.
Yeah. So just like what you've mentioned, I completely agree that the organization should invest now to different workshops, trainings, and seminars in equipping their employees in managing this stress, since stress is inevitable in the organization. And I think it would also be helpful if the employees have coaching sessions or individual session. So by the way, to add with my E3 space, there's also a button there where you can chat or book a session with the coaches or consultant of human dynamic. So this chat box or button, they can book what schedule they are available, and they don't need to worry because the consultants are trained by human dynamic, and they are more willing to provide safe space, and they are trained to 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 provide confidentiality in terms of the information that they share. Now we move forward to the last question. What is the measurable benefits have you observed in organization that have implemented mindfulness leadership as a core strategy?
For sure. So, organizations embracing mindfulness leadership observe measurable benefits, as you have mentioned. Okay, so of course we will mention about those measurable factors, which is first is employee well-being. Of course, the reduce of stress. Mindful leadership can also lower absenteeism and higher overall well-being. Next would be leadership effectiveness. So leaders can have an enhanced self-awareness, better decision making, and improve employee satisfaction. Okay, so productivity and performance as well, increased focus, creativity, and problem solving skills, leading to enhanced productivity. Next would be communication and collaboration. So, of course, open communication within the team, trust, and better teamwork. Okay, so customer satisfaction, of course, we can measure that. Okay, we can measure the improved interactions, leading to a higher customer satisfaction and loyalty. Okay, next would be conflict resolution or reduction. So, better conflict management and resilience among employees. And last but not the least is organizational culture. So, positive culture fostering trust, transparency, and alignment with company values.
Yeah, I think if all the organization implement this mindful leadership, it result to productive and engaging employees and leaders at the same time. Minimal absenteeism or minimal turnover. At the same time, they are more willing to participate to the company's decisions or to the company's goal. So thank you so much, Ma'am Vanessa, for this insightful discussion. We learned a lot from you. Any last words from our participants, for our viewers?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, Clarice, thank you so much, for trusting me to provide my insights and stories here in your space in human dynamics. Actually, I've watched your few clips, and what you're doing is really amazing and a game changer in our community, right? And I'm deeply, deeply honored to be here, and I hope that it's not the last time that we see each other. So, I would like to promote that we have an upcoming training in brain this coming May and October. So if you want to explore and join our community, you may want to visit our website. It's www.brainspotting-ph.com, or you can visit our Facebook page. It's Brainspotting Philippines Training Consultancy Services for more information. Yeah, and also feel free to contact me or connect with me via LinkedIn. It's Vanessa and Joyce Tejada.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Ma'am Vanessa. Your experience is really amazing, and I think it resonates, and we'll learn a lot, and we will implement this to our individual career journey. So I would also like to invite our viewers to join us for our inspiring leadership and change conference hosted by Human Dynamics, which will happen on July 24 at Marco Polo Ortigas, Manila. Our conference is entitled Leadership as Practice, Fostering Transformational Growth for Emerging Leaders. So this conference is designed to equip our emerging leaders with the tools and mindset needed to navigate transitions, collective action, and lead with resilience at the time of change. So we are delighted to announce that our keynote speaker is fresh from Hong Kong, which is none other than Dr. Eric Kung. So he is the esteemed founder, chairman, and the CEO of Human Dynamic. So guys, viewers, no, take advantage of our early bird rate as low as 2,100, and this is valid until May 17. In addition to that, we have an exciting internship opportunity. So to our student viewers, you can apply for our existing internship opportunity, especially in the field of creative writing, finance and administration, and sales marketing. So this is fantastic chance to experience hands-on and contribute to our dynamic team. So for more information about this leadership and change conference and internship posting, please check the details provided in our comment box. And don't hesitate to reach out to us via our social media accounts at Human Dynamic Philippines. And also, if you have queries or interested to avail our My HD space, you can send us email at info@ph.humandynamic.com. So once again, thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you, Ma'am Vanessa. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.